All right, so welcome to another episode of I Am On. He is on. Full Circle Conversations. Today we are going to touch parenting as a subject. We're going to go ahead and talk about parenting. Uh, Parenting. Everybody's got a different notion or a different book or theory about how parenting should be done.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yes and no's of parenting. Obviously, it's too wide of a subject, so I'm not gonna go ahead and sit here and bore you guys on how you should be parenting. But we will touch some, pretty interesting points when it comes to parenting. Is there a new age parenting?
Right.
Is there an old school parenting?
Well, I mean, kind of, we've been forced to see two different sides. I mean, generation to generation, we go from the people who were here before technology, the ones who have only been here with technology, how their views might differ from someone who understood how profitable it was to not be on technology.
So you mean when you say technology, you mean like
on computers,
like people like your dad and my dad not knowing how to open a Facebook account because of that technology.
Well, my father he's not too old to the where he doesn't know, he doesn't have the notion
technologically advanced.
Yeah, he's still kind of got it. He's always make sure to keep himself as
But I mean, who are we talking about when you say technology? What are you talking about?
So this would be like the last of the Mohicans, really, bro. Like, because listen, I'm speaking as a parent. I was around to not experience what it was like to have a phone readily available when I was young. The distractions that come along with.
If you're one of us, please raise your hand right now.
Yeah. Who's your therapist? But I mean, but this is kind of like what we've been forced to see is that there's really different viewpoints based on how you were brought up. There's traditional parenting, and there's a lot of people who have orthodox parenting. People who feel like tough love parenting.
Who do you think has the best parenting method? Traditional parenting, new school parenting?
I think my answer would be the parent who keeps their child in consideration, in total consideration, that their well-being and their future will be fulfilling for them based on how they're raising their child. However you do it, I mean, there's no one size fits all. I feel like everybody has to do it a little bit different because we're all from different types of backgrounds, all different types of temperaments. I've seen a certain type of temperament in my own home that allows me to see things different in how I do things. So, but going back to technology, and technology was actually this is a carryover from our last conversation about how technology is affecting humanity in a whole right now. Well, the most important part of where we're going is the youth right now, because these are going to be the captains of the ship of the new age that we're going into. So it's really important that we see how we're seeding this plant, because we're going to be eating from the fruit of it later. So, so yeah, I don't think I can say I prefer any.
If we still have a ship.
Yeah, if there's still a ship, it might be a silly ship. You never know.
We might have a kayak.
Yeah, we might have and that's all. That's why I say parenting, like I've told you before, is like you reap thorns and thistles if you don't do it the way in the way that you're really keeping your child's best interest. Like you're really doing the best for them, knowing where you've come from, and not trying to repeat. I'm not trying to make duplicates of myself. I don't need duplicates. I need something that is going to show me my reflection and maybe something about myself that I didn't even know. And how I'm going to open that is by being disciplined, showing it first within myself. And that's the role I think that my children are going to pick up on is, you know what?
Or that you hope for them to pick up.
Yeah, learning by osmosis, just seeing it, even when they don't know that they're conscious of it, it's just in their subconscious. They pick up a lot of um, fundamentals of how to be a human being and be a good human being. Just a simple please and thank yous are huge. So huge, because
what we would consider common education, you go into somebody's house, hello, you say hello to everybody that's in the house.
Yeah.
You don't ask for food. But obviously I'm not referring to that because they're like family, but I'm just saying, if we were to go, if me and you was kids and we were to go to somebody else's house because your parents take you, that's one of the first things they tell you.
Right.
Don't ask for no food.
Yeah.
You better, if they give you water, you better drink that water.
Yeah.
Well, what about if I'm not? You better drink that water.
Right.
But even that point, that's still kind of
where this is just a matter of doing it first, and then your children will follow. It's just like, I won't ask my kids to do anything that I won't follow myself. Like, I'm not going to sit there and give them orders and try to make them have structure and discipline. If I don't show
what do you mean you won't have them have structure?
No. I won't do that unless it's something that I'm willing to do myself. Is to have structure and have discipline myself. I won't ask them to do it if it's not something that I'm willing to do. Saying I'm showing them, and I'm not having to speak. My actions are speaking louder than my words.
Okay. So what if they don't pick up on your actions because they're in their own world?
Not to say that I don't speak to them.
Okay.
I obviously speak to them. We speak in depth, and this is also a big part of my own parenting, is just like always have those conversations about any understanding that you need to have with your kids. Like, whether it's like you might get angry in a situation, and then after you make sure you go and speak to them, and don't allow them to use their imagination on what's going on in your mind.
Elaborate on that.
So this is kind of like what I'm saying is, like, don't let them jump to their own conclusions.
Don't assuming.
So now when I go to them and I speak to them and I let them know my side, why I reacted the way I did, and why it is that they need to, fix their steps and where it is that they went wrong. Now I'm breaking this down to them very simply, and also I always make sure that I don't use words that I believe that they won't understand. Because a lot of time we're speaking
and they don't understand the communication.
If you stumble, words are a frequency. All right. And when you're speaking to somebody and especially a child who they're like sponges.
Okay.
So they're taking all this information in, and as soon as they see anger, the words, they lose their
you lost that thread of communication.
Right.
It breaks.
So now all they're really feeling is the frequency of anger. And they're shutting down their pathways of understanding completely. So now if I speak out of anger, I'm already shutting down our communication. Then if I'm speaking to them and they don't understand a word that I'm saying, then I have another speed bump in my communication with them. They might be sitting there thinking about, what is that word that he just used? A lot of times we're used to speaking to adults. We don't speak to we're not speaking to children through the duration of the day unless you're a teacher or in that field. But you're used to speaking to adults, and when you have for such a long time, you forget how it is to just simplify things and to just get right to the point, get to the heart of the matter, and start to just pluck away any of the misunderstandings or any of the ignorance that might be in what they're experiencing. It's just like lessons, and I'm not expecting that they're going to get it the first time, but
no, it's trial and error. But then among all of that, we will, as parents, we will deal with a great deal of variables. I'm going to touch a very sensitive subject right now. The other parent has a lot to do with it. Remember, parenting, yes, it could be done by only one person, but good luck. Parenting requires group work, teamwork, regardless of whether that parent is still with the initial parent, or that parent is no longer with the initial parent and you're co-parenting. It needs to be a teamwork exercise. Why do I say that?
Yeah.
Because kids are very smart. Kids will manipulate the living heck out of you.
For sure.
Facts. It's
For sure. I mean, they do it right from birth. They're doing that when they're sitting there and crying. They start to understand that crying is going to get me fed. So this is a manipulation in itself. Is getting somebody.
I mean,
to do
obviously,
something.
it's a different type of manipulation.
It's a different. But it's the purity of manipulation. That's as pure as manipulation can get. It's that I have to be able to manipulate the world outside of me to get what I want. So a child is doing this, and this is why I always say, a parent can learn from a baby. A baby doesn't learn from a parent.
Obviously, a baby learns.
This is like what I'm the heart of what I'm trying to get to is that a parent can learn more from a child. Okay, and you start to learn how to be a parent by having a baby. Mm-hmm. A baby doesn't learn how to be a baby from a parent. It's just learning to be itself. But you are the parent. It's teaching you how to be a parent.
No, so a baby, we teach a baby obviously through the initial growth, obviously from baby to toddler, from toddler to small child, from small child to child, from
right. But none of that is us teaching the baby how to be a baby. It's
no. You don't teach a baby. You don't teach a baby how to be a baby. You just teach. We teach that baby. Hey, this is what's right and what's wrong. That's why from a very young age, based on your experience, they learned, oh, this is right. Oh, this is wrong.
Right.
And stuff like that. But you know what? It's crazy. I'm going to go ahead and, we're going to go ahead and do a second episode on this because we're going to go ahead and touch the whole manipulation thing. I'm interested in talking about that because a lot of people need to hear this subject. Because, I feel like in society, we are blind. Some of us are blind to the manipulation that, our younger selves can do. Right. Notice how I just said our younger selves because it's still your child is you.
Yeah.
Our younger selves can do. So we need to be vigilant about this and know when it would be a good time to correct this before it gets out of hand. But check out our episode 2. We're coming back.